So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back once again to the greatest watch market update show. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have something special for you guys lined up. Something that's going to help you out a lot. The first thing I want to talk to you guys about is about gold. Gold, solid gold, pure gold. Ladies and gentlemen, right now the ounce of gold is unbelievable. The ounce of gold is at 3,162 dollars an ounce. That's number one. The price of the gram of gold is $101 per gram. Per gram. It's unbelievable. Gold is unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. And ladies and gentlemen, the price of a kilo of gold is $101,673. This is unbelievable. Gold is something that you guys have to look into, ladies and gentlemen. Stop being possum kickers and start looking more into gold. Watch prices are just taking a kamikaze dive. A kamikaze dive. That is the truth. Watches are taking a big dive. So if I was you guys and you want to invest some of your earnings, look into gold, ladies and gentlemen. I understand that none of your favorite Muppet Boiler Room secondary grade watch market channels and dealers are ever going to tell you this, but I will because it concerns me that you guys should know about this. Gold is somewhere, and I'm telling you, I see gold reaching a price, and I mean this. I see gold reaching a price of $5,000 an ounce. You know, I really mean that. Scout's honor. I see it hitting $5,000. I wasn't pretty sure a month ago, but I am pretty sure right now. Too many things are happening right now in the United States of America and throughout the world. A lot of things are happening. So, a couple of weeks ago, I went to Costco and I bought the little gold bars, an ounce, and they were at $3,062. I think I paid for that, and I bought a couple of those bars, and I went the other day, and they are at $3,122 an ounce. So it's getting scary. It's going to hit that $5,000 number. I think it is. Also, I want to tell you something else. The Dow Jones. It's the Dow Jones. It dropped 1,000 points, ladies and gentlemen. 1,000 points. The Dow Jones dropped. And that again, that's scary too. You guys got to be careful out there. With the way you're playing with your money. That the stock market is like, it's gambling. You're gambling, so you got to be careful because it's not acting. It's not acting serious. The stock market is not acting serious, so be careful. The only thing that's acting serious right now, I can promise you, is gold. Pure gold. So be careful with that. Ladies and gentlemen, this week was a big week for the watch industry, and you had a lot of people from all over the world. Exactly, exactly. I'm sure it was a big week in the watch industry where all these watch enthusiasts, fanatic dealers, jewelers, they got together. And they were all there celebrating, having a great time. And I've been telling you guys for the longest. I've been telling you for the last, since that new president, got into the White House, I've been telling you this, that you got to be careful with those, tariffs. Got to be very, very, very careful. And this new president has been telling us that this his first year as an administration. It's going to be a tough year, and boy, he is, he is basically everything that he said he was going to do. For what I understand, I don't know too much about politics, but everything that he's talked about, he's been doing it, and he said that this year is going to be tough, and he's proving it. And ladies and gentlemen, I believe that the tariff, for Switzerland, Switzerland, if if you're bringing any of, and he said it, we are in 2021, the one that was bringing in the most watches to their country. It was, I believe it was China, in 2021. And then now we are the number one in importing watches into our country, and the president, while these people were over there at that big show over there in Geneva, they were drinking Don Julio, they were drinking Don Julio and celebrating and talking about all the watches and all that. This new president, he dropped a bomb, and he dropped a 31% tariff, for Swiss, for Swiss watch. Yeah, it's live, Brand. It's live. Knock yourself out. So he dropped a 31% tariff on any goods coming in, watch goods coming in from Switzerland, and that's a scary thing, ladies and gentlemen. But a good thing for many of you out there. I told you that you're gonna be able to buy the watches you want. You're gonna be able to buy the watches you want. The ones that are already here, not the one with the 31% tariff. Nobody can touch those watches no more. And the game is over. Right now, the game is over. Maybe he'll stop it tomorrow, but right now it's 31%. And and you have luxury watches like Rolex, Patek Philippe, Vacheron Constantin, and all those other luxury watches that they're being made over there in Geneva. It's a scary thing, ladies and gentlemen. The watch industry is shocked, by this president's 31% tariff threat. Treat, whatever you want to call it. It's incredible. And like I said, anything that's coming in, imported goods from Switzerland is going to have a 31%, papa. Like I said again, they were over there partying, drinking, having a good time, a palo limpio with, exactly, you said it. That's right, Brian. It's a 13% more, La situación está mala, guys, but it's good for us because all these Muppet boiler room secondary grade watch market dealers and channels, while they were dancing the cha-cha-cha and drinking Don Julio, this new president laid the law, and 31%, at 31%. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, the watch market is dead. The watch market is dead, whether you guys want to believe it or not. I know you guys have a lot of money invested. That's right. Give them the logo, Alex. You have a lot of money invested in watches, pero papi, invest it in gold. Don't invest it in watches right now. Let these people que se coman, let them eat those watches now. Let them eat them. Let them eat them. And I know what I'm telling you. If you stand firm and you hold on to your money, you do whatever you want. Cash is king. Or real estate. Get in real estate. The car business is again gonna go crazy. The car business too. You guys cannot be skip hopping around through life like a rabbit, man. You guys, we are the only channel that's gonna talk to you this way. We're the only one. The rest are not. The rest are gonna continue giving you the famous logo. The famous logo. They're gonna give it to you. Look at it real well. They're gonna give it to you, Papa. Listen, those people, I am telling you, these people, exactly, the land cruiser, the land dweller is who's gonna buy those watches? They were in a state of shock. I heard those people, the surprise tariff announcement came as the industry gathered in Geneva, watches in wonder, and they were having a great time, papi. And this man dropped the bomb at 31%. Le rompieron el orto. Le rompieron el orto a todo el mundo. Those people are flying back home already. They're flying back home. It's over. Who's gonna buy now the Oyster Flex with a Tiffany blue dial, yellow gold? Who's gonna buy that? Who's gonna buy the land dweller? Which, let me tell you, I honestly believe that land dweller, to me personally, is gonna be one of the most popular watches of that class release of Rolex of 2025. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm telling you what it is. I've been dropping knowledge to you guys for too long, and I've been telling you all this months in ahead, and you guys are hopping around through life like rabbits. Papi, these people were in shock when they said 31% tariff. Se mandaron a correr, bro. Parecían prostitutas. They looked like prostitutes running through the airport. The party was over. The orders were canceled. And now that president from Switzerland, unbelievable, that president, President Karen Keller, Suter, she said her government acknowledged the U.S. tariff. She acknowledged it already. She acknowledged. Papi, la situación está mala. You guys gotta, look for a different outing. I mean, I don't want to discourage you from buying watches. You buy whatever you want. If you want to continue being, possum kickers and cow tippers, that's up to you. But I'm telling you what's happening. If you want to make money, get into the gold business. Get into the gold business. If you want to make money, that's where the money, that thing is going to hit $5,000. You tell them, Papa, buy gold. Hey, listen, these people, these watch Muppet boiler room, secondary grade watch market channels and dealers, they're never going to tell you what I'm telling you. They're not going to tell you because it's not in their interest. They want to keep on selling you a Batman, a Rolex Batman, a Batgirl, a GMT. Papi, those days are over. There hasn't been nothing like this in the United States of America ever. I'm not no politician, but I'm 62 years old, and I have never seen something like what I'm seeing right now in our country. I'm telling you, this is unbelievable. We have never heard of our country saying we're going to give a tariff to China. I think China has a 36%. The car business, you can't buy no more cars now. Now the used car business is going to be number one. You guys don't believe me? That's all right. Skip hopping around through life like rabbits. The used car business will return as number one. Nobody can touch a car that costs $15,000, an example, $20,000, and now they're putting a 36% on cars. So 30. I don't know. You guys help me with you guys are smarter than me. Exactly. Real estate is dead too, Alex. It's dead. It's dead. I didn't. Thank you for telling him. I didn't want to tell him because Alex is my friend. Me and Alex are like peas and carrots. Pero Alex, la situación está jodida, papi. That's all. Buy gold Eagles, man. I'm telling you, I'm telling you all this because, man, there's people out there still that they're claiming that the watch market is alive and pumping well. Come on, man. You gotta be, you come on. Come on, papito. We're not trying to hurt you. We're just trying to tell you, listen, right now, if you want to buy those watches, you can buy them very, very economically. But don't keep on believing these flim flammers, these hucksters, these hoodwinks that are telling you that the watch market is up and running. No, it's not. It's dead. That 31% that new president, that new guy put on, that laid the law down, esto se jodió. It's over. Mira, my dad would tell me when I was younger, he would say, stick a fork in it, it's done. Stick a fork in it. Papi, métele un tenedor que esto está hecho ya. It's done. It's done. They say the airport in Geneva, people were running all over the place. When they heard 31%, vámonos para el carajo de aquí. Forget about that Land Cruiser. Forget about the Tiffany, Daytona Oyster Flex yellow gold. Forget about the GMT white gold with the green dial, black ceramic bezel, green ceramic bezel. You call it the Sprite. I call it the Heineken and Monster drink. The orders were stopped. And the bottle of Don Julio, they put it away. Don Julio was over. You guys cannot continue hopping around through life like rabbits. Ladies and gentlemen, get it through your head. The watch market is dead. And we do this because we're stupid like that. When I leave this, because I am going to leave this, because I'm tired, I'm tired. I don't jump the same way no more, and I got to travel the world with my wife. My wife loves me and I love my wife. And we're going to go now in a cruise ship, where they have a authorized Rolex dealer, unbelievable. 31% tariff. Who's going to buy a watch in that cruise ship now? They have Panerai, Piaget, Cartier, Rolex. 31%, papi. Mira, logo con todos ustedes. Logo for all of you out there. This is not bad. This is not bad. This is just the logo of the watch market being dead. Nobody is ever going to give you this information. Once I'm gone, you're never going to hear this no more. You're going to go back to being mesmerized by these hoodwinks, these hucksters, these cockroaches. These guys are a bunch of cockroaches. They were running all over the show like cockroaches. You told them, Alex. They were running like cockroaches to go to the airport when that president laid the law down and said 31%. That's right. 31%. Ladies and gentlemen, this is serious stuff. The watch market is done. Stick a fork in it, is done. And now, like an example, like Mr. Wicked. Mr. Wicked has been here, a very loyal subscriber. And he's been talking about exactly, Flip, it. Stick a fork in it. Say, yo, he's dead. And the only one that brings you this is me and Sweet Kid Kino. To me, Joaquin to you. Joaquin has called me up to tell me, you saw this? And I say, yeah. You know what he told me? Esta mierda le dio el abanisco. You know what that means? You Google it. I'm not going to tell you. If anybody knows what I said, you can say it in English. Esta mierda le dio el abanisco. Unbelievable, that Sweet Kid Kino. British smart man. Smart man. One more time. Sweet Kid Kino told me, oye, cuz, esta mierda le dio al abanisco. I'm not going to tell you. You Google it. But ladies and gentlemen, this shit has hit the fan. Unbelievable, but true. Unbelievable. Sweet Kid Kino. Son una rata. So anyway, going back, we have a loyal subscriber by the name of Wicked. He's unbelievable, that Wicked. I don't know who he is, but he's a very kind man. And he's been, since he joined this show, he's been asking for a Batman. Wicked, now is your time If you want to get that Batman, you can do it now, Papi. You just go like that with the money in their face. Here it is. That's all. Wherever you are, whether it's England, the UK, the United States, Canada, you wave the money to them. You wave the money to them. Because right now, cash is king. And the thing to buy is gold. I know what I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen. I know what I'm telling you. The Dow Jones dropped today 1,000 points. Logo. Nobody's going to give you this information. Look at this. Unbelievable. Thank you very much, Wicked, for that super chat. You know, Wicked's unbelievable. Thank you very much, Wicked. Thank you very, very much from the bottom of my heart. You know what? When I see a super chat for 50 cents, $1, $2, that motivates me to keep on bringing you this. But if I don't see 50 cents, $1, 75 cents, I don't want to do it no more. You know, because I feel like I'm underappreciated. Unbelievable. But true, I'm underappreciated. You know, nobody. Listen to me. Listen to me, Lambones. You know, listen to me, Lambones. I am the only one that brings you this information, that dares to bring you this information. They will do anything to get me out of the air, but they can't. They can't because I'm 100% organic. There's no sketch in this channel. There's real subscribers, real comments, real likes, you know, up, down, whatever you want to call it, and real views. Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm doing for you guys. Lo estoy asocerando, no sean lambones. When I leave from this, you're not going to have nobody. You're going to get, again, you know, mesmerized. You're going to believe what they're telling you. Remember, there is just one channel, which is this one. And then there's 50,000 of them. So remember this, I'm 50,000 against, thank you very much, Kinko. Thank you very much for supporting. Thank you for that super chat. You know, I'm the only one doing this. Get it through your head. When I'm gone, it's over. You're on your own again. And you'll be watching the channel of the guy with the steak dinner and the sushi and the go fast wreck car, you know, and the all these things, you know, the raffle and this supporting the wreck go fast car, the ripped jeans, the Louis Vuitton Nike sneakers, you know, that steak dinner, you know, the guy that puts the bone in your mouth, you know, with the white t-shirt, the Patek and the glasses. Unbelievable. I'm the only one doing this. You know that? I'm the only one doing this. Flip, you don't have to do that because I'm saying this. I'm just trying to open your horizons. Thank you very much, Flip, for that super chat. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm telling you this because you need to know it. When I leave, you're going to get this all day long, every day. Logo. That's what you're going to get. But remember, they want me out because I'm bringing too much knowledge. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much, Flip, for that super chat. Thank you very much. Like I'm telling you, it just makes me keep on going and keep on bringing you this information that you guys need to know, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I'm telling you, this is what's happening right now in our country. It's unbelievable. And I am telling you, whatever watch you want right now, take off $5,000 from that watch. I don't care who it is. Take $5,000 off. Papi, there's no money out there. There's no money. There is no money. El dinero está acaso. You know what acaso is? You remember back then in the 70s, there was no sugar. Back then, there was no gas. Back then, I don't know what else. There was so many things, you know, in life going on. We're going to those times, man. We're going to those times. Do you honestly think that right now I love my watches? I love my watches. I enjoy them. But at this moment, I don't give a frog about watches. I don't give a frog. You know why? Because I'm gonna be able to buy them. Guys, I'm gonna tell you this and listen to me and learn. I'm gonna buy watches. Listen and learn. Cash is king. You know it, papi. I'm going to buy watches. And I'm talking about any watch, papi. What brand you want it to be? You want it to be Patek? Okay, Patek. I'm going to buy it at 40 cents at a dollar. 40 cents at a dollar. Nobody is going to tell you what I'm telling you. How you like them apples? How you like them apples? 40 cents to the dollar. Rolex at, you know what? Out of all those watches, Rolex, Patek, Vacheron, AP, Breguet. I mean, there's just so many. And Richard Mille. Listen to me. Listen to me. The one that you're going to lose the least. It's like having a bond in your pocket at all times. Listen to me, it's Rolex. The watch market is dead, ladies and gentlemen. The watch market is dead in a backyard pool and floating face down like this. But Rolex will hold your money. Richard Mille is dead in water. AP is dropping faster than Bill Clinton's pants in an Arkansas farmhouse. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know that Patek, in these last, 72 hours, 48 hours, when Rolex released their watches, Rolex wanted to be a big shot too and released a couple of those flim-flamming watches they have themselves. Nobody's even talking about those watches. Nobody's even talking about those watches. You guys don't believe me. That's fine. Don't believe me. Remember, I'm the only one that's going to talk to you like this. Esto está jodido, muchachos. No hay dinero. No hay chavo. No hay lana. No hay pasta. No hay cuarto. No hay chelito. Papi, esto está jodido. There's no money. There's no money. Stop giving away your children's tuition money. And if you want that watch, 40 cents. And I'm talking about the king of watches. The king of watches. Remember, when you buy a Batgirl or, I don't know, Batman, whatever you want to call it, I think the watch is like $10,800 or $9,600. You understand me? So when that watch is brand new, that price, and then you buy it from the secondary grade watch market, Muppet boy in the room, gonorreas, lambones, you buy it for $16,500, $17,000. It's unbelievable. So when you pay that, 40 cents, 35 cents, 30 cents, whatever it is, you're buying it basically at the cost of the watch, or what they sell it at the retail, MSRP. No sean lambones. There's no money out there. Cash is king, and Rolex is King Kong. Rolex is King Kong, ladies and gentlemen. The rest are trembling. They left. They were running. They told me they were running. They were running with the attachés. You know what an attaché is? If you don't know what an attaché is, you Google it. I'm not going to tell you. They were running with the attachés. 31% tariff. Papi, le rompieron el orto a todo el mundo. They said that the place went like this. Don Julio was gone. They were taking shots at Don Julio. Shot. It was over. The party is over. The party is over. The world is upside down. Too much corruption going around the world, ladies and gentlemen. And let's talk about the United States of America. We're number one. Somos número uno en la corrupción. En la corrupción. That is not a bad word. Corruption. Richard Mille watches are dead in water, ladies and gentlemen. You gotta be a real lollipop sucker to buy a Richard Mille watch today. Look at me, Richard Mille fans. You gotta be, even if you are a half a billionaire, even if you're a billionaire, you're a lollipop sucker if you buy a Richard Mille watch. Those watches are dead in water. I don't want to hear the sketch. Juan, you're saying that because you don't have a Richard Mille. Who says I haven't had a Richard Mille? Who said that? Every single Richard Mille that has passed through me, gone, sold. And it's been 2 of them, gone. It's not about that. You gotta be a dodo bird to buy a Richard Mille watch right now. Hay que ser tremendo pendejo. Hay que ser tremendo gilipollas. Hay que ser bolsa basura. That watch is dead. Vacheron Constantin, which I have always said they make, man, one of the best craftsmanship in watches. One of the best. Those watches are dead in water as themselves. You know, they're dead in water. And Patek is behind them and AP is behind them. Because the watch market is dead. Cash is king, papi. You know it. Look, okay, now watch this now. I'm going to give you another example, which this is an unbelievable subscriber of mine. But this is what happens. When the Rolex Batman is $17,000, it's when you tomato cans want the watch. Now the watch is dropping, and they'll say, but the Batman is dropping. But you don't want it now for $11,000? Well, because it's dropping. But that's the number you wanted to get. And they're going to keep on dropping all those days. See that? Look at it. He just put it down. 11,000. I didn't put that down. Read what he put down. $11,000. Logo. You know what I get? And you know what Kino gets? We get this. You know? We get this. You know why? Because we're stupid like that. You see what I'm saying? You know that olive green rose gold date? It was at $95,000. I have people tell me, no, I wanted it when it was 95, but I wanted to get it like around at 80 or 79 or 80. It's not even at 80 no more. It's not even at 50 no more. It's not even at 45,000. But they don't want it no more. Because that's how it is. That's how it is. The watch, listen, you see that? You still have people like, let's say Alex. Alex is another example. You know how many times Alex asked me, should I get rid of my Sprite? He asks me every time. And I'm going to be honest, Alex, because I care about you and I like you. Thank you very much, Damon, for that super chat. Thank you, Brian, for that super chat. Thank you, guys. Thank you very, very much. It means a lot to me. I will continue. It gives me motivation to continue doing this. Look at Alex. He's telling you yes. He asked me, I don't know how many times. And I wasn't ignoring him because I wanted to be a dodo bird. You know, I wanted to be a schmuck. I was like, man, get rid of that watch. It's going to drop faster than Bill Clinton's pants in an Arkansas farmhouse. The watch market is dead in the backyard, pool floating face down like this. It's dead. I'm telling you, it's dead. It's dead. The watch market is dead. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to buy something, buy gold. If you're going to buy, I'm not telling you to buy it. If you're going to buy something, buy gold. La cosa está jodida. Our stock market, me and my wife, we said, let's get out of here. Let's go on a trip. Let's go for 30 days and get out of here. Let's go. Esto está jodido. This is upside down. This is upside down. You know how it is, Alex. You know, I don't want you to continue flipping coins You know what happened to that young man, the Puerto Rican Charlie Brown? Listen to me. I gave you the information of the Puerto Rican Charlie Brown, and you guys were not listening to me. Papi, there's no money to be paying a monthly car payment of 2 G's. You haven't seen none of your favorite Muppet Boiler Room secondary gray watch market channels and dealers make videos. Because está jodido, papi. There's a lie. Have you seen Big Pun and Heavy D make a video? Have you seen the two Jehovah Witness brothers make a video? Have you seen Deputy Boxing Black Eyes make a video? Have you? Tell me. Have you seen these people, these mashuganas? And you're not going to see it because there's no more lying to you. That cat is out of the hat. They say that me, I said it wrong, that Kino and me, we have single-handedly disrupted, dismantled, and rattled the Muppet Boiler Room secondary gray watch market. Can that be true, ladies and gentlemen? Tell me yes or no. We have saved recovering tomato cans, thousands and thousands of dollars. I repeat to you one more time. We have saved many tomato cans, thousands and thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars on these recovering tomato cans, crayon eaters, window lickers, Palmolive dish lickers, crumb bums, cow tippers, possum kickers. It's unbelievable what I do. It's unbelievable what I do. And you know why we do this, me and Sweet Kino? Kino to me, Joaquin to you? Because we're stupid like that, ladies and gentlemen. We are very stupid like that. I'm telling you, the situation is tamala, papi. Hold on to your money. And if you don't want to hold on to your money, I'm going to then tell you this. Look into silver. How's that? Look into silver. Silver is at 300 and me caso en 10. I think 300 and somebody help me out. Google it and put it up there for me. But silver is at 300 and change, low change. I say 320, something to that. But do you know how much silver was at one moment? Do you guys know? 34 an ounce. Look at that. 34 an ounce. 34. There you go. 34 an ounce. It was at one moment, silver was, I don't know, it was something ridiculous. Something ridiculous, It's ridiculous what it was. I'm telling you, silver is good. I'm telling you, you do whatever you want. If you don't want to buy gold but listen to me, if you guys are buying watches of $40,000, $50,000, then you shouldn't have a problem looking into gold. You shouldn't have a problem looking into gold, ladies and gentlemen. The money, I don't know, they're saying that Mr. Damon is the man that knows about gold. I don't know about gold. I just know how to invest in something. I don't know. But, Damon, please tell me, is it a good idea to buy gold? Yes or no? Just give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. That's all we need from you. Because Damon is the man that knows about gold. I know what I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen. You guys gotta get smart with your money. You cannot continue skipping around through life like a rabbit. Remember? Skipping around and giving away your tuition money. And then you guys are giving away your 401k. Man, 401k. Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. There is so many people declaring themselves. I don't want to give you guys no ideas. I don't want to give you guys no ideas. I don't want to give you guys no ideas. But today, Anybody that declares himself in bankruptcy, no problem. There you go. There's a thumbs up from Damon. Anybody that declares himself today from bankruptcy, give it to them. Yeah, give it to them. Papi, there's no money out there. You were living a lie in that Corona beer era. In that Corona beer era, you were living a lie. You know, like the lie that you see on TV, the guy with the gold red fast car, and the big, big brick of, $100 bills, holding them in two hands and a bottle of Cristal. You know what I'm saying? I tried to do that one time when I was in my 30s, popping bottles. And then when I would get in my car, I say, man, what did I do? Because this is what it is. It's all a show. It's all a facade. You know what a facade is? If you don't know what a facade is, you Google it, because I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you. I'm doing enough to tell you all this. When you leave this channel, you leave a little smarter. Just a little smarter. Not a whole lot. I'm not a pretender here, guys. I'm not a pretender. And you guys shouldn't be pretenders either, because the world right now is full of pretenders. The number one thing right now to specialize in is being a liar. It works like a charm. But where I come from, my father will bust my lip if I will be saying lies to me. He said, how can you be talking about lies? People are going to see you like a strange man, like a strange young man lying. You don't know that lying is sick? Is somebody this not well? That's what my father would tell me. Listen and learn. My father will bust my lip when I will say a lie. He said, you stupid. You will be known as that kid that's ill, lying. And today, the number one thing to do is lying. You know what they do today? They embrace you when you lie. It's an illusion. The world we're living in is an illusion. I don't want to get into that because that's another subject that is too deep. But we're living a lie, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We're living a lie. We're living among Meshuggahs. And this is what people want. They want to hear BS. They want to hear they went to with the shuttle all the way to outer space. They want to hear that. Exactly. You told him, Damon. Come on, Papi. I tried to. Like I said again. And you say, man, do they deserve this? Do they deserve me for real, or do they deserve the walrus fat bastard? Who do they deserve? Opus in time, Juan Felipe Nieves, and Sweet Kid Kino to me, Joaquin to you, or they deserve Deputy Boxing Black Eyes? Who do they deserve? Do they deserve the hungry hippo, Mr. Magoo? Flim-flamming you with a Pronell watch that's like around 3 cents to the dollar, that says it costs $350,000, looking for a window liquor, throwing something against the wall to see if it sticks, while I'm doing this. Unbelievable, it's crazy. So, I'm trying to tell you guys a message, I'm trying for you guys to, awake, get awake, the masses. Ladies and gentlemen, they say that I have saved on recovery tomato cans, thousands and thousands of dollars. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if it's true or not, ladies and gentlemen, but you guys cannot continue. Listen to me. Take your family on a vacation trip. Purnell watches. You know what I'm trying to say, Mr. Donut. Mr. Donut, am I lying to you, Mr. Donut? These people were selling a watch that cost 2 cents. I'm going to keep on dropping. 2 cents to the dollar. $275,000 tourbillon. They were throwing, they were casting, casting the fish, the casting, I don't know, the rod, to see if they can cash they can catch a fish, a smelly fish. A smelly fish. Unbelievable. And somebody always gets hooked. Somebody's always willing to depart from their money. But I'm here dropping knowledge on a daily basis to you guys, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to me. The airport in Geneva, they were running like cucarachas, like roaches. They were running. They said, it's over, bro. It's over. And maybe tomorrow that gentleman, that new president might say, hey, the tariff is for sale, GMT Sprite. Look at that. $13,000. Listen to me, Alex. It's going to keep on dropping. Have you been hopping around through life, Flip? Listen to me, Flip. In my life, I skipped around through life like a rabbit many times. You can. You cannot continue. You cannot be smoking, smoking whatever it is through a skull, You can't. You cannot continue smoking through a skull. You cannot continue smoking whatever that is through a skull, because people are maniacs. Unbelievable. Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. I know what I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to awaken you people up. Purnell watches, man. You should have seen that hungry hippo, Mr. Magoo, the way he was, promoting that watch. He even got into a word scuffle, with Deputy Boxing Black Eyes, two heavy hitters, two, because they know right there, they knew things were bad, like Kino says, la mierda le dio al abanisco, la mierda le dio al abanisco. You know what I said? La mierda le dio al abanisco. I'm not going to tell you. I'm here to guide you guys. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, if you're planning on buying a car, I don't know, but be careful, because they're going to give you the logo. Bobby, we're upside down. Ladies and gentlemen. We're upside down. Things are sad out there. Things are sad. Hold on to tu chavo. Hold on to it. Hold on to your children's tuition money. You're gonna need it. Ladies and gentlemen. And I'm telling you, I feel bad. And I have consult this. Con Kino. Yo hablo con Kino en español. I speak to Kino in Spanish. I say, Kino, I don't think, man, this podcast, I don't know. Maybe it's for those people, remember, lying today is the styling way, Lying today is a styling way. And, and Kino told me, no. Hay que ayudar a esta gente. We need to help these people, There's a purpose to help these people out, because they've been giving their children's tuition money away for too long. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, the watch market, at one moment, I have told you, it was unbelievable to buy watches from the secondary grade watch market. But the shit that's happening today is going to be real tough for them. Ladies and gentlemen, because people have learned too much. Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever heard of a president, marking up a tariff for different countries? Have you ever heard that before? Come on, ask yourself that question. I don't know what age bracket you guys are. I'm going to tell you again, I'm 62 years old, and I have never seen this in my life. My father left this world, and he never saw such a thing. And we were being tariffed by other countries. We were being tariffed by other countries, but we never did it. We were like lollipop suckers. We had I don't know if I remember. Kennedy, Johnson, Nixon, Ford, Carter, Reagan. Can I keep on? I never saw that in my life. Never. I never saw that in my life. Bush Jr., Bush, whatever, father, that gentleman, that Arkansas that drops his pants faster than never. Never I saw such a thing like this in my life. And this president is giving a tariff to everybody because we have been for too long getting the logo in this country. That's right, because we've been lollipop suckers for too long. And you're still gonna have people out there that say, "Oh, what he's doing is terrible." Okay, he's terrible. It's terrible. But pretty soon your Social Security is not gonna exist. No hay dinero. There's no money out there. Estamos en bancarrota. Estamos jodidos. Estamos jodidos. I know. No more. No more logo. You said it, Tres. No more logo. That's it. Pick a platinum. Buy platinum too. But stop giving away your children's tuition money to these flim-flammers, these hucksters. Ladies and gentlemen, do you want to soar with the eagles or you want to crawl with the rats? Do you want to soar with the eagles? Or you want to crawl with the rats? With the rats. I know what I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen. I know what I'm telling you. Exactly. You cannot continue. And then you have these channels. Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to tell you a secret because I'm going to end this podcast, but I'm going to give you a secret. If I will be making video, listen and learn. If I will be making videos of straps, watch straps, that strap, alligator, this one, Geneva strap, that strap. If I will be talking about watches, all day long that the watch market is up and running, listen to me. They would open my channel and let everybody come in. I don't think many of you understood what I said. I wish I had Keno here to look at him. I don't even have to look at him today, But it's not that way. I'm not talking about, watches, this new watch they came out. I'm not. I'm talking about something that I'm affecting. I'm like a plague, but a good plague. There's a bad plague and a good plague. I'm a good one. I'm watching out for your milk money. I'm watching out for your eggs money. While these people keep on giving you the logo. And it's getting deeper. It's getting deeper. I'm not the whole day skip hopping around through life talking about, this new watch they came out. This new channel is unbelievable. He is an unbelievable live streamer. I'm not that person, and remember this, there's 50,000 of them, and just one like this channel. Tell me how many channels is like this one. Tell me how many channels, who's joining me in this platform. Am I fighting this battle by myself? That's right, got the logo of Social Security. Am I fighting this battle by myself, ladies and gentlemen? The one and only. I'm the only one. You got a couple of kids over there. You got a couple of kids from the UK. He tries, but he goes in, he comes out. I'm going to say un dicho en español. Si se la mete, grita. Y si se la saca, llora. You understand me? It's like that, Si se la mete, grita. Si la saca, llora. In, you scream. Out, you cry. You don't understand what I say, you Google it. I'm too much for you guys. I'm too much for you guys. You know what I'm trying to say. Listen, I'm telling you this so just in case one day, those people that use the word blackout, I don't know what blackout means, but I don't know blackout. Blackout, you know what it is. And ladies and gentlemen, I told you about the subway train jumper. You need to be careful with the subway train jumper. You gotta be very careful. This is why people ask me. People are unbelievable. I have unbelievable subscribers in my platform. A private watch group, but it's private. You can't go in. But the ones that have it open, they're finishing them off. They're finishing them off with rates. They're finishing them off. But you have that man, the subway train jumper. The subway train jumper out of 47th Street. It's unbelievable. What a resemblance from the ghost train jumper. Subway ghost train jumper. He's unbelievable. I don't know. He's not the most masculine looking man in the world, but he's there, and he's charging you guys $11 a month so you can be in his platform. My platform is private and it's for free. You understand me? So it is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been talking for an hour nonstop. I'm happy that I was able to, penetrar, your brain cell, la chola, la cabeza. I was really happy I was able to penetrate you guys because, ladies and gentlemen, what's coming to America is a shitstorm. What's coming to America is a shitstorm. You're gonna see some things in this country that you've seen already. A lot of things are happening in this country. We're upside down, but I'm talking about people that are gonna have a hard time. There's people out there. Believe me, I know people that are having a hard time. I know me personally. I know people that are having a very, very hard time out there. So buckle up, hard, buckle up real well, tight, buckle up and become a penny pincher, become a penny pincher and just do the right thing. All right, guys, do the right thing. I'm happy that I was able to, drop some knowledge. I'm not going to give you guys today a watch market update because, estoy medio Maria. I'm a little bit dizzy. You're welcome. You're welcome very much, Damon. To all of you, thank you very much for your support. You guys just being here, supporting the channel means a lot to me. It inspires me more to keep on doing these live podcasts. It shows me that, a lot of you appreciate, what I'm doing. And I'm talking about just you guys being here. I'm not talking about monetary, if you give a couple of dollars, of course you get happy because it stimulates you for like, hey, I'm doing something all right then, I'm getting to them, and I'm going to tell you something about the Puerto Rican Charlie Brown. I'm Puerto Rican and I'm going to be talking to the Puerto Rican Charlie Brown right now. I think it's time for you, Puerto Rican Charlie Brown, to start looking elsewhere already. I think, your ride has come to an end. I don't think you're gonna make it there. I think you will make it there in June because nobody in life could be working for free. I'm telling you, Puerto Rican Charlie Brown, with all due respect, you had a good ride. You had that Keith BMW M9, whatever it was that you had, but it's time for you to, que te mueva para casa el carajo ya. La situación está jodida, okay? And so I think, and also, if I was you, I would take out whatever you put here over here, whatever you put something here like a tattoo, get it off, people, you don't have to be, you're not a stamper, you got a stamp, none of that BS. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this watch market update show and you learned something. Sweet Kid Keen always tells me that I'm supposed to say, "Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like the video at the beginning of the video." But I'm a knucklehead. I do it always at the end, and that's when the people leave. They always leave and all that good stuff. But don't forget to subscribe to this channel. It helps out. You got up vote and you got a down vote, and probably we get 50 up votes, and then we get the the robot, the robot, swan of down votes. So everything that you guys do, it helps out the channel, and we're up there, right, guys? And also we have a watch private group in Facebook, and we have a private watch group in our platform in Facebook. It's under Opus and Time Watches. It's under my name, Juan Felipe Nieves. Scroll down to about and request, and maybe Samantha and Kino to me, Joaquin to you, will let you in. And like me and Sweet Kick Kino say every day, take care and brush your hair.